Welcome to episode 162 of the Narcissistic Music Disorder.
What's up, Scotty? How you doing this morning?
Not bad. Yourself?
I'm good. I guess for folks watching the video, there's no sweet reveal. If you're listening to the audio, there'll be a surprise reveal right now. But of course, it's probably in the title too, so you know who it is. Why don't you introduce our guest, Scott?
Kevin Keefer from
Woo.
Supergrudge is here today.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Good brother. I mean, not newly formed, but fairly newly formed Super Grudge, right?
Correct.
And been playing some gigs and blowing people's minds and blasting people's eardrums out. Um, and how's it been going, dude? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, I switched instruments, so now I'm on percussion. I'm off the bass rig for a minute, but it's been a whole new world as far as recording and playing live, and I'm excited to jump into that on the drums.
And you guys all go back, right?
Yeah,
Like as friends and bandmates, right?
sure. So on bass guitar is Ivan Hanna, who was in. We can take this one way back to the '90s. He was in a band called Pudgy Chuck, a band called
Yep.
Pit Boss. He was in Sometimes We Fight. He was in Knives Are Quiet, and now we have jumped into Supergrudge. So he's changed instruments from guitar to bass, and I left bass to drums. And then Brent Nowak from the Electric Red and Dirt Farm.
Mm-hmm.
And Keegan Lewis from the band Blisshead is on vocals currently. So that's the lineup. It's a four-piece. And I
Cool.
just played Pyramid Scheme and got a couple gigs coming up. And yeah.
And what give us musically, I hate to make you do this. I know it sucks for artists to do this, but give us an idea, give us a reference point of what you guys are like.
It's post-rock. I guess the closest I would genreize it
I
as.
like it. Let's use that. Yeah.
It would be grunge, I suppose. Grunge,
Wow.
a little bit of soul side, I guess, to it. I can't put it into any other particular genre because for some odd reason I musically cannot pick a genre to stick with. I just can't do it. I
Okay.
want to, mind you, but I can't. So yeah, it's got a little hint of quicksand. It's got a little hint of like Tad helmet to it.
Oh yeah.
It jumps around. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, and obviously all decorated players and able to probably do anything you throw at a group like that. So that's pretty exciting. I know I love Brent. I've been friends with Brent a long time.
Right.
He's just a sweet human being. I don't know the other guys, but I've seen all you guys kind of out there, and I've seen, like I'm sure I've watched videos of Knives Are Quiet and all those bands. So that's pretty cool, man. And it's exciting. I was just talking to a friend this morning about how hard it is to have a band as an adult.
It
Like it's
is.
hard, man. Anyone can form a band, but keeping one together and making sure everybody can get to, yeah, it's not like when we were kids, and you practice 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
It's like getting once a month together is a bitch because somebody's got this going, and weekend days, Sundays are like gold when you're an old person. It's like this is my
Sure.
one day. Yeah. So, well,
Completely agree.
cheers to you.
Thank you.
All right, Scotty, what's new in your world?
So I saw Thursday night, I saw Dave Hawes and the Mermaid at the Pyramid Scheme
Okay.
with the Rodeo Boys from
Which
Land.
is You've been singing the Rodeo Boys praises for quite a while.
That was great. Tiff from the Rodeo Boys is coming on eventually.
Nice. Nice.
Um, Dave Hawes was awesome. He's coming on at the end of March.
Nice, dude.
And then Friday night we saw Ike Riley Assassination at the Acorn Theater in Three Oaks.
That was good too.
That was phenomenal. And Kevin Riley, Ike's son, is coming on at some point.
Nice, dude.
So
I've been hot on this. I don't know if I told you last time we recorded. I don't think I did. This singer-songwriter chick, Nikki Lane. Did I share
yeah,
that with you?
I have a
Kind of
Nick
cool.
Lane record. Yeah.
Kind of cool. I mean, not anything groundbreaking or anything, but still cool and still something I like. A friend of mine from work turned me on to him or to her because I don't know, there was a song that spoke to him about me. I was kind of in the thick of it, and he sent me a tune that was pretty good, and I checked it out and really enjoyed it. Outside of that, I'm listening to Ray Wiley Hubbard records and
Yep. Uh, I've been into
taking.
this singer-songwriter girl from Nashville. She goes by Soccer Mommy. She's fantastic. It's just like atmospheric, poppy. It's really good.
Killer, killer. So today we're picking five. Is that right?
Pick five rock albums you often recommend. Yeah.
God, I don't know. I don't feel great about my list. I mean, I might have to do some shit on the fly here
Okay.
because I mean, I do recommend these, but I don't know. In your guys' company, I'm afraid to share some of these, but I'm gonna because you guys are so much cooler than I am. I'm gonna try to share these and be cool. Some of these are bordering. I mean, they're rock records, but
Right.
we'll get into it, and you guys can judge me when that happens. So, without further ado, let's have our guest open us up. Kevin, what's your first rock record?
My first rock record I chose is going to be Shellac at Action Park. Jumping in with Steve Albini's
Steve
bringing
Albini.
math rock to the table. And now that he just passed, it's been everybody wants to know if Shellac's going to come back.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to end up happening. But I mean, what do I know? I don't live in Chicago. So,
Wasn't he He's a producer too, right?
correct? Yeah, he produced. Let's see, he did something with the Pixies. He also did.
Did the first Chevelle album.
Yeah.
Point number
That's
one.
that's your band,
Moments
Scott.
in the meantime, he
In the
produced
meantime,
that,
yep.
and
Oh yeah,
Betty, or was it Betty too? It was one of the
Betty.
two.
Yeah, he
Betty.
might have.
But
yep.
yeah,
I remember. I think I know him more as that name as a producer. I've never heard Shellac, but obviously something worth checking out.
yeah. I started out listening to Big Black when he was playing in
Oh
that
sure,
project. So I
okay,
went from Big Black and followed him into Rape Man and into Shellac, and I've seen it
nice.
probably about 6, 7 times. But this record for me taught me a lot about counting music and how it can be effective, and you don't have to have tons of distortion to be awesome. You can be musically effective. What's the words I'm looking for here? Um, you can be direct and dark and mathy all at the same time without having to have a ton of overdrive on it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah. That's my first choice.
Nice. What about you, Benting?
From the 90s, the band Rhino Bucket. Get used
Oh,
to it.
dude,
If
that's a
you're
great band.
Yeah, if you're into old Bon Scott AC/DC, you should be into Rhino Bucket,
There you go.
especially their first like three or four. From Get Used to It, the first one, Get Used to It's the second record, which is it's the first one I heard. I
Okay,
remember exactly where I was when I heard it. I was on
I remember
28th
where I was.
Street. I was on US 131 going by 28th Street, and it came on
Nice.
KLQ, the song Hey There.
I had a buddy. I played in a band with a guy, and he was really into him because he was a big ACDC guy. Like he was a
Yeah.
Bon Scott ACDC guy, and he came to a practice. And for some reason, like Rhino Bucket is in my mind share space with. It must have been the same time like I heard Driving and Crying for the first time,
There you go.
right
Yeah,
around that time.
I mean
Um.
they're like McMaster has that new band, or I don't know if it's new, but if he's still doing it, Broken Teeth.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you're into that, you'd like Rhino Bucket. That sounds like old AC/DC, that Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys.
Dangerous Toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of dudes who have played guitar with Rhino Bucket lately too.
Yeah. I
Our
kept
buddy Mark Knight,
saying
who was on the show, he's done shows with them. Um, I know that for a while. I think Brian Forsythe from
Brian
Kicks.
Forsyth is playing with him now, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You may know him from such projects as Ghost of Sunset. No, I'm just kidding.
And Kicks.
And Kicks, right? I'm sure the Ghost of Sunset thing's way bigger than the Kicks
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's
Sure.
where people probably know him from.
There
No,
you go.
but there was someone else that was playing with Rhino Bucket for a hot second too. They always have like killer, beefy guitar players.
The
Old
drummer
school.
passed. The one that he went from a he to a she, and then I don't
Oh
know.
yes, yep, I remember that.
Mars, not Mark Free. It
No, that
was
doesn't feel right.
because that was another guy. He went from
Yeah.
Mark Free to Marcy Free. This was the drummer from Rhino Bucket. I
Yep,
can't
I
remember.
remember that. I
I
can't
can't
remember
remember
their
his
name
or
either.
her name.
Yeah, me either. All right, so it's up to me. Boy, where am I kicking this thing off? I don't need your judgment. I'm going to hold that one. Um, I'm going to use Jesse Malin, New York Before the War. Have you
Oh,
heard
that's a
that
great
record?
record. Yeah.
Wow.
Jesse Malin is like, to me, one of the last. Boy, I'm going to take some shit for this too. He's one of the last pure New York artists out right now that's making music. Pure New York. He's a New York guy. He was in Degeneration.
Right.
Um, his records sound like New York to me. There's only a handful of people that you can say that about. Like the Dolls sound like New York to me.
Yeah.
There's something, believe it or not, I mean, and this is kind of New York adjacent, but I would say stuff like even Twisted Sister. Well, that was the East Coast, kind of that area rock and roll band.
Yeah.
But Jesse Malin he's like, I mean, to me, he's almost cooler than Ryan Adams. He's been involved with Ryan Adams a little bit, here
Yep.
and there. But Jesse Malin is this New York Before the War, and then that record. What was the one that had like Queen of the Underworld on it and Wendy? Oh, The Fine Art of Self Destruction.
Yeah, that's his first one, I think.
That um, New York Before the War though has like Springsteen on it.
Yep.
He sings on She Don't Love Me Now.
He's got
It's
one
just
called like The Kids something. The Kids, I can't remember. Kids aren't all
yeah.
right. I don't
I
remember.
think I don't remember either, but that New York Before the War record it's as good. And Fine Art of Self Destruction is where I got hip to Jesse Malin.
Yes. You
I
got me,
wasn't a de-
Jesse
I wasn't
Malin.
a
So,
I wasn't a degeneration guy. I didn't know any of that stuff, but that's kind of that New York City punk, glam punk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, New York Before the War is a great record. It's got ballads that are beautiful. It's got great songs all over it. It's one of my car. It's a car record. It's one if I'm driving, I get a chance to listen to. So yeah, Jesse
nice.
Malin. What you got next, Kevin?
Let's stick with New York. Quicksand Slip.
Huh? I
Heavy,
got
drivey, rock, drop D, beautiful. God, where do you start with something like this? It's like the crossover after. It's got a Fugazi vibe to it, but stays the pocket shifts around so much with these guys. They hooked me instantly when Quicksand came out. Then
hmm.
ultimately they formed into Rival Schools,
Oh,
which I was a big fan of too.
I like Rival Schools.
Yeah, at Drivey Octave. The drop D though was a big deal to me at the time. What hooked me into guitar and bass was when I first found out you can take your E string and drop it down to D. Watch out, there's a whole new world, and these guys are trailblazers in what they're doing. It's
Right.
not metal, it's not progressive, it's indie fused with this new world of grunge rock. And I was like, what? So to me, when that band came out, it floored me, and I couldn't get enough of it. Their second album was called Manic Compression, I think, if I'm right. I think that they had
That's a
a
killer
couple
title.
before Slip, I think, but yeah, that's my second choice for sure.
What?
Yeah, New Yorkish.
That's funny that you talk about like drop D, like that discovery and how important that was, because I remember like when I learned, and it would have been in the late 70s, I guess, early 80s, when I
Yeah,
was kind of getting that people tuned their guitars a half step down. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know that
yeah,
for the longest time. Like, and that was frustrating as shit. Drop D was awesome. Open E was awesome for me because I was left-handed. My mom kept buying me right-handed guitars, so I could tune them. I could tune them to a chord and kind of do this and go, "Oh
sure.
man, that sounds like something." So
Yeah.
yeah, those revelations. What you got next, Scott?
Rise Against, The Sufferer and the
Well,
Witness.
there's a good one.
It
Who's in
probably
that band?
Tim McElraith is the singer. That's the only person I know.
Okay, I know the band name. I've heard of
They're
them a
from
lot.
Illinois.
Aren't they
Hmm.
still? I think they're still on tour, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they just played here recently or are coming to a casino or something. But
Which is crazy.
yeah, I
Wow,
know.
wow.
Yeah.
A bunch of 50-year-olds at a Rise Against show.
Well,
But it's one of
that
their
would be you, dude. That would be you. You're that
yeah.
dude you're talking about.
That was Ike Riley the other night, dude. There was probably not anyone under 40 at the show.
Right on.
Really?
Oh God, it was probably 50 to 80, the age group at this Ike
Wow.
Riley show the other night.
I
'Cause
like
he didn't
that.
get famous till he was like in his 40s,
Well, and I
like
mean,
Rodney
there is,
Dangerfield.
There you go.
well, he just couldn't get any respect, obviously.
He did same with Ike. Can't get any respect.
Yeah. And so if it was a show for the older adult, I suppose there was good seating then?
Oh, the Acorn is fantastic.
Excellent.
Kevin's family is from that town, Three
Yeah, from
Oaks.
Three Oaks. So, and he
Oh,
told me that
cool.
I was like, no way. There's a distillery down there now that makes bacon flavored whiskey. It used to
Oh,
be like just a factory, and then it tore the factory down, or kept the factory, but the people that ran it sold it to a distiller. From what I was told, I found us out in Grand Haven, bought a bottle of it. It was fantastic. But
bacon flavored whiskey.
yeah,
Boy, that would have been a nice breakfast whiskey.
yeah.
Um, let's see, my next pick. I'm ready. I'm going to take the
Okay.
heat. If you criticize me, Benting, so help me God. And if you don't recognize this as an iconic rock and roll record, I'm not sure I can trust anything you say going forward.
It's not Mr. Roboto.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Hey, the album's called Kilroy Was Here. Have some fucking respect,
Oh yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
no, I picked if this is the band, this is the album that launched a million bands, and it's Kiss Alive 2.
Oh yeah.
It's as big as anything. And you can say what you want, right? You can say what you want. I love 70s rock and roll is my thing. I mean, I love Thin Lizzy, I love Priest, I love
Sure.
but it didn't happen like this. Not like Kiss Alive 2.
What
No.
Kiss
is it
Alive
about
2.
two?
Well, it's
One.
not number one. It's a highly overdubbed. I didn't understand. This is like the drop D thing, Kevin. I didn't realize that people were going in and fixing live albums. I had no idea. So I thought Kiss Alive was a live record.
Okay.
I'm like, oh shit, man. And they did it so well that it just captured. It's hard for a live record to capture that live experience.
Sure.
Kiss Alive 2 does that. And they do it by a couple techniques. Number one, they cleaned up things. They went in and cleaned up the recording. Number
Okay.
two, they triple tracked the audience. So the audience on a live 2 is triple tracked. All the audience sounds are
Wow.
triple
I did
tracked.
not know that.
And the other thing is they took all the explosions, which happen in a Kiss concert, especially
Sure.
around this era,
Yep.
and they boosted those.
Oh,
So
wow.
when you've got headphones on or you're holding the vinyl as a kid,
Sure.
it's the experience, and you're
Yeah.
going, shit, this is what a Kiss. It was as big an album as, I mean, like I said, it launched a million bands. The great story is, I forget if he was 10, maybe. Butch Walker
Okay.
saw Kiss on this tour, and
Yep.
this is what made him want to be a musician.
Wow. Did you catch him at Van Andel when they were here?
No, I saw them at Tiger Stadium
Okay.
when they put the makeup back on,
Yeah.
with Sponge and Alice in Chains. That was a great show. And
Wow.
then I saw him a couple times. Like, I think I saw him on, like, in the 80s. Like, I saw him on the Asylum tour. I saw
Okay.
him on Hot in the Shade. By Hot
Yep.
in the Shade, they were starting to get in. Desmond Child was starting to write with them. They were getting some
Sure.
outside writers like they always had, but it was cool. 96. I mean, I think it was 96 was the reunion. My story that I always tell in the show is, I had a buddy in junior high. We were woodshop together, both Kiss fanatics. He said if they ever reunite, and back then, like in 1984, 5, Kiss was never going to reunite ever.
Yeah.
That was just not. He said if they ever reunite, we're going. And we shook hands on it, probably sniffed some wood, some wood glue or paint thinner or whatever to seal the deal. And then I'm laying in bed one
You
morning.
do that now, don't you?
Exactly. Well, if I got to get right, I do. Um, I'm laying in bed as an adult. He calls me, "Hey, man, we're going to see Kiss at Tiger Stadium." Like, he
Sure.
had waited up, got tickets, and that's one of those junior high things that we honored. We went and saw Kiss. So,
That's
and
great.
my circle of friends, they're one of those bands. Even if I'm sitting with Pete Dunning or Scott Stefanski or Scott
Oh, yeah.
Nesbitt or all these guys, the guys in American Hair Band, forever in a little section of break, they break into a Kiss tune. It's that uniting thing between a lot of
Sure.
people I know. Even like the Greg Millers and Mitch Woods of the world, they know Kiss songs, right? They know
Oh, yeah.
stuff from Kiss. So yeah, Kiss Alive 2 was my next
Good
rock record.
choice.
What
Good
you got
choice.
next, Kevin?
Let's go with the Jesus Lizard Goat. We'll keep it Illinois. The
How do I
Touch and
know
Go
that?
record label for me. God, where do I start with this one? It's punchy, it's drivey, it's punk rock, it's post rock, it's a combination of the scratch acid era. And it was in like a genre to me all itself. It was here's this drivey, bluesy, completely overdriven sound with the most insane vocals that you've ever heard. And it's very theatrical live. So I was a huge fan of the Jesus Lizard. Still am. I know they went on tour last year, and I think it was last year, and then something happened and the tour was canceled.
Mm.
And their guitar player is now back with Tomahawk and Mike Patton, and they are now on tour.
Oh,
I bought tickets to it like 2 days ago, so I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go and catch them. I think they're in Detroit, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the tickets to Detroit, and then I think a day before that or after that, I think they're in Chicago.
no, nice.
So yeah, that to me that was I got to meet David Yao quite a few times. And Kalamazoo is where I met him the first time, and then a couple record store signings. So I hung out with him quite a few times. He was very very cool guy. The rest of the band, they don't hang out like David Yao hangs out. Their singer is always, he'll do anything, anywhere. He'll walk into Club Soda back in the 90s, throw up on the floor, and then get up on stage. Just incredible to me. I'm like, this is rock and roll to me. I fell in love with that band. That's my choice.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
If throwing up on the floor hooks you, man, you missed me because
Yeah.
I did plenty of that in my day, man.
Yeah.
Benting, what you got next?
The Blackening from Machine Head.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
It's a
I don't
rocker.
know much about that band. Their guitar player, Phil, what's his name? The guitar player for Machine Head. He's kind of a famous dude.
I can't remember any of the
Yeah.
guys in the band's name. I've seen them a few times at Ozfests, and I love the Red, I think, is the album before that one, but this is like '08, I think. It's one of the finest metal, it's top 10 for me, metal records ever made.
It's a hitter,
Wow.
that's for sure.
It is so good. Just so angry and
I
just
remember
Super.
it being very drivey and
it's drivey. Yep.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my next pick is a band I don't think you guys will be familiar with. They're called 6 Day Bender.
Hmm.
The album's called Evil Fuzz. I got hip to them. I watched a documentary called The Parking Lot Movie.
Okay.
And it was literally about a parking lot out west where like a bunch of these kind of learned college students worked, and they were kind of like documenting human nature through this parking lot where they worked the booth at a old school parking lot. Give me the money, I'll raise the gate, you go in.
Sure.
And it was a commentary on like everything from consumerism to elitism. It's just really good. And it was all these philosophy students who worked there. Well, one of them is sitting in the parking lot playing an acoustic guitar. He plays 2 songs, and I mean they're just kick ass. He sounds like Dylan or Hank Williams, or it's just really amazing.
Huh.
So I got hip to him, and then they had this band that they were all this circle of people were into. It was 6 Day Bender. They
Okay.
have a song. This Evil Fuzz record is so good. It's not as fuzzy as the title would suggest, but it's there's a song on there called Money Honey, which is so good. Yeah, you may be made of money, but you ain't got no fucking sense. I mean, that it's just good, heavy. It is a little sludgy in spots, a little stoner
Okay.
rocky, which I
Yeah.
like.
Mhm.
Being a Black Sabbath guy like that. So yeah, 6 Day Bender, Evil Fuzz, hard to get a hold of, but well worth the trip.
I will definitely check that out.
What you got next, Kevin?
Let's go to Kansas.
Oh.
Hawk, Dragline came out. These guys came out right around the time Alice in Chains dropped Man in the Box, their first single. And I remember going to the music store, and at the counter at almost every music store, at least in Grand Rapids at the time, there were cassettes singles that they were handing out. Paw had Dragline, and Man in the Box was Alice in Chains. They were always on the counters, tons of freebies from both the record labels. And I was like, oh, what's this? What's this? Picked them up, put them in my player, checked them both out, and I was hooked on both the bands instantly. But Paw, to me, um, it was, I'm not a big country fan at all. And the
Uh,
closest I'm ever going to get to country is definitely with Paw. So being from Kansas, they'll have spin-offs, and you'll get some solos that are very country oriented, but the rest of it's all the production that they put out on this record. And I think that was on, is it A&M? That was on A&M at the time, just hooked me. And the vocals were very Danzig-ish. So
oh yeah.
to me, I couldn't get enough of this band. Still can't. Still listen to them all the time. I had a ton of videos out at the time, and they never really took off. I think they came back for a minute on their third album, and it wasn't Cinderella, but it was something, maybe Skid Row. They ended up opening for Skid Row on a tour, and I'm like, this band has no business on a tour like that. It makes no sense whatsoever. And then they just fell off. Something happened with the contract with A&M that they had at the time, because they wrote songs about it. I think on their third album, "Home Is a Strange Place" is the name of it, and they just fell off, and you never heard from them again.
Huh.
So very strange thing.
Well, and that's funny. I don't know what you said, that was kind of not, would have been Alice in Chains facelift era, so 90 maybe, what 90 91 era, like Skid Row tours. That was
Mhm.
Skid Row and Pantera.
Yeah,
They went out and did that whole Slave to the Grind tour with Pantera. And I had a
sure.
buddy, he passed away. But he used to say he went to see Pantera and Skid Row, and it was like the only show he'd ever been to. He felt like you had to be tough to be at.
Yeah,
He's like the pit was the floor. It was like you had to be tough to be down there because it
yeah.
was out
I
of
just caught
control.
Pantera maybe a year or so ago. They were at Van Andel. I had a suite down there, and I caught them,
Okay.
and I was like, wow. I mean, it's
Yeah,
post Dime Bag, but
sure.
very
Well, I
cool.
mean, it's Zach Wild. Zach
Yeah,
Wild is in there, and of course, Charlie's a great drummer. And
yeah,
probably, I mean, I'm not a fanatic about Pantera, but I
right.
certainly like Dimebag. I like all those guys. Rex Brown has become one of my favorite people to watch interviewed. He's just sagely in his approach to the music business. So,
Wow,
yeah. All right, what you got next, Scott?
Record from John 5 called God Told Me To.
wow.
You had a
It,
John Five
that
record last time we did something like this too. Are you
Yeah,
hot on
he
John
has
Five
another
right now?
side band, doesn't he? John Five and the
he-
Animals, maybe.
yeah, John 5 and the Creatures.
That's it.
And the Creatures, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one he usually does a cover on a lot of his records, and this one he does Beat It.
No
Oh
shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard him do that live.
It's really cool, but Welcome to Violence is a great opening track,
Okay.
and he's all over the place, like just different styles. He said he learned how to play, like mandolin and all these different things when he was playing with Katie Lang,
Right.
from all the other guys that could play multiple instruments. He learned how to play multiple instruments by touring with them.
That's amazing.
Well, he really owes a lot to Manson. I mean,
Yeah,
Manson gave him, between Manson and Rob Zombie, they created John Five,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Before that, it was John Lowry, right? This guy
Yep.
who played, and he was on that scene. Someone said that, I think it was him. I saw him, like he's known Nikki Sixx for a million years.
Sure.
He's in Skid Row's video for Piece of Me as like a teenager almost, or early 20.
Yep.
He's in that video in the crowd.
Right
I
on.
like John Five. I tried to share some of his stuff with my buddy Greg, who wasn't blown away. Um, but I like John Five. I like everything he does. I like his live show is cool with the video screens, and
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, he's cool. Plus, I saw Michael Anthony. I
Wow.
think it was him, Michael Anthony, maybe whoever drums for John Five and the Creatures, and Corey Taylor from Slipknot do
Okay.
Wow.
Van Halen covers, and they were awesome,
The
man.
guy
Good.
credited on this record is just Bourbon Bob plays drums.
That's
Huh.
fantastic.
I don't know who
Wonder
that
who.
is, but John
No.
plays guitar and bass on it.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty talented cat, and I like him, and he's got tons of chops, and he's a huge. Speaking of Kiss Alive too, he's a fanatic. He's
yep.
a collector fanatic guy, and I
And
just
he's
think
from Michigan.
I think he did the most with the persona that they created for him, because that's a Manson thing, right? Manson
Sure.
makes the guys come up with these, pop icons and
Yep.
serial killers, and
Quiggy Ramirez and
yeah, right.
yeah. Yep.
And I mean that's cool. And of course, my buddy Bruce and my bandmate Bruce, toured with Manson through those
Yep.
years and
That's
got to
great.
spend some time. Let's see, boy, after you guys are really bringing it heavy. But I'm still gonna do this. This is so I bet this band has been dismissed as a joke, I would think. There was a show on VH1 called Bands on the Run. Do you guys remember that?
I
Yeah.
remember.
And the band that won it, and the band that was most interesting, and the band that seemed the most rock and roll was this band called Flicker Stick.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And they have an album called Welcoming Home the Astronauts. They had an indie release of it on like a 226 label, some Dallas Fort Worth label. And then it was re-released when they signed with a major, and they added a song to it that was okay. But these guys were like a heavier Pink Floyd. You could hear Pink Floyd influence in it, but it was heavier guitars and a lot of noodly bits, 2-note bits, I call them, ding, ding,
Okay.
ding, 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 ding kind of parts. But really good songs, good lyrics, creative. And then came from a TV show back when that was just starting, before we started getting all of our bands from TV shows.
Sure.
But yeah, Flicker Sticks, Welcoming Home the Astronauts. That's an album worth checking out if
Okay.
you like that kind of moody. I mean, it's brooding at times. It's overblown sometimes too. I mean, they're from Dallas Fort Worth, and yet Brandon Lee, their singer, definitely has a British accent in there somewhere, and I can relate to that because I fight the Southern accent all the time, and I've lived in Michigan my whole life. But yeah, check them out. What do you got next, Kevin?
Well, the last one I got for me was Helmet. Um, Here's a band that brought like back to the drop D thing again, right? Well, now they think they tune. They're like, best I can tell anyway. It's a half step low, um, or either that or it's sharp of C. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's low. It's really
Yeah,
now, but it started in D. So for me, this band came out very brash with a lot of attack. Um, and put noise rock on the map and set it as like a standard. Like this is the new standard. You're gonna follow this. Everybody, I think the guitars in general around this time, most of the guitars that we're used to listening to is punk rock, like Circle Jerks, Black Flag, stuff like that. And and then there was this metal movement, and then we got into early 90s, and it was all about the drop D. It was all about the drop D or C, you know.
right.
And the more brash we could make it, the better. But again, it kind of tied in the math rocks. They're extremely mathy, in my opinion. They weren't your typical metal band at all when they came out. And I don't want to say simplified it, but it was kind of simplified it because they're like the song structures. For example, they weren't just like here's your pre-chorus, your verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Um, they'd mix it up, or they take you for a spin at the end of their one of their tracks, or three or four of their songs. Uh, and these are more, and what I'm speaking about right now was more post strapping on after this. They changed sound a lot. And they changed members a few times too. And the fact that they're still so they're touring right now in Australia.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah. So, I got off subject here, but, I picked that one because for me, it forced me to learn basic song structure, and it was okay to do whatever I wanted with it. I could stop. I could do a song that's a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then stop and change speeds, or maybe even change keys and shift the song completely in the other direction. So for me, I recommend that Strap It On album because it was the starting point for anything that I've either put out or tended to listen to um after that record. So that's
Yeah,
my
they were kind of. I mean, there was like Lollapalooza runs with Helmet on that bill, I think, and they
sure.
were always just that. They were all seemed to be universally loved. Like everybody loved Helmet. And what's his name? Page Hamilton, is that the
Yeah,
guitar
Page
player?
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and he was being revered as kind of, like you said, kind of groundbreaking with how he was setting songs up and tone and all that. but they never seem to make that full leap to, huge. They
Nope.
Yeah.
never got huge, and I still don't know why that is, other than
Well, he played
maybe
a lot of huge fests, I think, and
huge.
well, they're
Yes,
still on doing all that stuff. But when last time I caught them, I think they were at Pyramid Scheme, and before that, they came through here. They were at Intersection, yeah, a couple
okay.
times, and
I remember seeing them at the Orbit Room or Club Eastbrook back
that
in the
was
Oh
day.
great.
yeah.
It was actually Quicksand, Orange 9mm, and helmet. That show was
That
insane. I
yeah.
almost broke my leg that night in the pit. That happened. Yeah, what a show.
All right, Scotty, what's your last pick?
Well, since he came up earlier, I'm gonna go with the band Kill Devil Hill, their first record, and it's Rex from Pantera,
Pantera.
that
Yeah.
side band, and I think the singer, I think his name is Dewey Bragg.
Okay.
He's from a band from Texas called Pissing Razors.
Ah,
They, oddly enough, I've played with them. Them and not Crowbar. Who was the other band? They were, oh my God, who was that? Large human beings. They were, Crowbar is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
big
Kirk
guys.
was yeah.
Propane, that's who it was.
Propane, yes.
Propane and Pissing Razors. They came through Reptile a long time ago. Yeah,
Yes.
no shit.
That's when I met Craig Neunenmacher.
Wow.
Because Craig, who played with Zach,
Yeah.
um, I met him when I worked at Believe in Music,
Yeah.
and Crowbar was killing time. They were playing at the Reptile House, and they
Sure.
came to Believe in Music.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit, that's Kirk Weinstein. And then I was like, hey, it's Craig. And I had it in with Craig Neunenmacher because I was a Lillian Axe fan,
Oh yeah.
and his brother is Stevie Blaze from Lillian
Oh
Axe.
shit. That
So
I did not know.
I had an in, so I was like, "Hey, listen to your brother. I love Lillian Axe. And
It's fantastic.
coming to see you guys tonight."
Sure.
I went and saw those. It was those guys with Bile and
Yep.
Overdose. And
Oh.
Overdose was like a Brazilian. They were like Bile was like industrial,
Very. Yep.
and Overdose was like Sepultura.
Wow.
It was actually their very first show in the United States, and it was snowing, and they had never seen snow. It was fucking cool.
That's
Oh
fantastic.
wow.
They were awesome. They were cool guys.
Well, my final pick is not heavy at all. But it's it's solid rock and roll. This band is, I'm so glad I got hip to them. I owe Patterson Hood and the Drive By Truckers all the credit for getting me hooked on these guys. And it wasn't this album that hooked me. It was an album called Separation Sunday. But this album, Boys and Girls in America by the Hold Steady,
Yep.
is
Okay.
probably one of the greatest rock records made. They're a rock and roll band. And like Southtown Girls, if you listen to that song, the guitar tones are they're just dry and upfront, but they're structured really well. I tried to turn a friend on to him, and he hated the singer's voice. He
Craig
just was
Finn,
like,
yeah.
yeah, he's like, I hate Craig Finn's voice. A guy named Rick Johnson, he was a kid. I mean, to me, he was a kid because he's probably, I got 20 years on him, maybe, if that. But he worked with me at Bird's Music, and then he started a studio. He had a studio, and he hooked me up with Craig Finn. And I played guitar on like a Craig Finn thing, but I never heard anything about it. I don't know if my part sucked or if they used it. I never heard anything about it, but I definitely played on one of his songs. That guy Rick Johnson he was in Mustard Plug. He was a bass player in Mustard Plug forever, and he was in a band called the Whack Trucks out of
The Whack
Muskegon.
Trucks, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, the Hold Steady is just, and I have a bunch of their records, and it was the Rock and Roll Means Well tour. It was Drive By Truckers and the Hold Steady. And all Patterson Hood would talk about in every interview was how good the Hold Steady were. Like, he thought they were the greatest rock band in the country.
Wow.
And they're pretty fucking good.
They are good.
They're pretty, and Craig Finn doesn't sing like normal people. He doesn't
No.
look like he looks totally like normal people. He looks almost too much like normal people. But
Yeah.
just definitely a great songwriter. Separation Sunday is a concept record. It's really good. But yeah, Boys and Girls in America has some guest stars on it. Juliana Hatfield is on it,
Yep.
and Dave Pirner from Soul Asylum's on it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a huge Soul Asylum fan. So yeah, that was my last one. The Hold Steady, Boys and Girls in America.
All right.
And there we have it. You got any honorable mentions?
I
Scott
had
always has an honorable mention. See him lean forward.
Yeah.
well, I had Butch Walker's Stay Gold. I recommend that record all the time.
I recommend the Spade.
The Spade. Yep, that's yours.
Yep.
Power Age from AC/DC. That's my go-to from them.
A-
That's
Any Bon AC/DC I would recommend. If you like rock, if you even want to know what rock and roll is, you either get a Chuck Berry record, and if that's too early for you, you get an AC/DC record.
Yeah.
That's how I mean, that's exactly, I can draw that line. You know,
Acme by John Spencer Blues Explosion. That'd be another one.
yeah.
oh yeah, yep.
And we all have to love that one.
Well, and you know, there's a lot of like blues quote unquote records because I could even say like, you know, I think North Mississippi All Stars make rock records, but
There you
they're
go.
a blues band, you know. Yeah, there's so much stuff out there. I should probably mention just because I'm a fan, and I know you are too, Scott. I mean, Black Label Society is a fantastic rock and roll band.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
super heavy, in the right ways, and yet Zach is like John Five in the sense that he's got all those influences and somehow
Mhm.
gets them in there, which is pretty cool. It's hard to
Yeah.
do, right? It's hard to hear. Although I just watched something that was what was it was a Mustaine era Metallica song, and it might have been like Four Horsemen.
Yep.
There's a middle section in it that Cliff wrote, and it's the progression to Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, shit, that's exactly what it is. And
Wow.
it might be the Four Horsemen, which was probably the Mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you listen, it's Cliff, and it was Cliff going, "Hey, dude, we're gonna put this middle section in," and it was Sweet Home Alabama
Wow.
because he
That's
was such a Skinnerd guy, you know, such a huge fan. Yeah. Well, all right, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on, dude. You got anything to plug before we let you go enjoy?
well,
Hopefully,
we're in the middle
Benting's
of
not going to jazz you out down there.
not yet. So yeah, I'm gonna plug. Well, we're in the middle of writing right now, so we'll be back out. And May 2nd, we're at Puck's Cider. You can catch Supergrudge there. I'm bringing
Okay.
Fadakin, and if you haven't caught Fadakin yet, they are absolutely amazing. They're a Grand Rapids band. I will be bringing War Horses from Detroit. They are fantastic. And then we're going to open that show. So that's at Puck Cider May 2nd. And then June 19th, we're going to be in Detroit at Old Miami with the other half of War Horses band. They are called Ladyship Warship. It's their two-piece band. And if you haven't
Cool.
checked them out yet, they are definitely something that you should check out. It's the drummer from War Horses and her husband, who is a guitarist. He is absolutely amazing. They're east side of the state people, and they are just very, very cool to check out. So those are the only two I'm going to plug. I had a whole bunch more, but I had a bunch of shows fall apart that I'm not going to bring up in public yet. So that's what happened there, but I'm fixing it. So Super Grudge will be out there. Our EP is online. It's called Glare. It's a 3-song record. You check that out. It's on all major music platforms right now. So
Killer. Well,
thank
my
you for
best to
having
the
me.
band. Thank you for coming, dude. Thank you
Thanks for
so
having
much
me.
for
Good to
doing
see you.
this. And I will hit up one of your band members. I got to get into one of those t-shirts. I love your guys' shirt. So your logo looks kick ass,
Thank
like a
you. Thank
old
yeah.
Orange Amps logo. It looks great. So Benting, make sure you get me one of those. All right, Scott, you got any parting words for us today?
I don't have any parting words.
No parting word, because you've been hanging out with your buddy there in the basement, and you're really letting your responsibilities fall by the wayside. This is what happens, Scott, when you're not focused on the task at hand. This is
But
what
coming
happens.
next episode, Brian Blush from the Refreshments. Little
Excellent. Can't wait. Love that band. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk to. You two enjoy the rest of your day. Stay warm, stay safe. Kevin, my best to the band.
Thank you.
Make sure you send my best to everybody.
I will
Benting, I
see
love
you
you.
soon.
love you. I'll
All
see
right.
you probably Friday, and then I'll see you at the Pyramid Scheme. And we can promote that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
March
Today is
14th.
today's my birthday, so I'm gonna go get hammered.
All right.
See
That's
you
the
guys
spirit.
later.
See you guys. See you, bud.
See ya.
Bye.